Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Tonight is the premiere episode of Jenn Tran's season of The Bachelorette. That's right. It premieres tonight at 8 p.m. East Coast time, 7 Central. And I'm going to be giving you a 2-hour special pre-show live stream. So check us out tonight at, what does that mean? 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. East Coast. You do the math on the Pacific. And I will be here to go over all of the things you need to know to catch up before tonight's episode of The Bachelorette. Jenn's season begins right now. All right, I'm going to play for you guys several Instagram reels from the Bachelorette Instagram account. I'm also going to share a couple clips from Off the Vine. Jenn just did the famous and powerful podcast Off the Vine with Caitlin Bristow. And also, but first, let's get into the media training that Game of Roses Chad talked about on Reality Steve's podcast. If you want more information on the ins and outs of what goes into the production, obviously go check out Game of Roses and our pal Reality Steve. I know you guys are already very familiar with them. Let's go to the clip about the media training Jenn needed to become the Bachelorette.
When Jenn Tran goes on Call Her Daddy to promote her upcoming season, there have been people in the Bachelor franchise that have kind of coached her on what to say, for sure. She's not walking into that interview just completely blind. So whatever the party line is about who was or wasn't the Bachelorette and why the decisions were made or weren't made, Jenn Tran has had conversations with people at high levels in the Bachelor franchise about how to handle that question or that issue. So whatever she's saying on Call Her Daddy is, to some degree, I'm not saying it's totally scripted, but like producers have told her, hey, if this comes up, maybe you handle it like this. That conversation definitely has been had in the past.
Yeah, look, it's like debate prep. You want to make sure you look good so that the public is on your side. So the story that Jenn is going to be telling as the Bachelorette is a story of overcoming the odds. She's the first Asian American lead, which is probably a little too late, but better late than never. That's what we have. As I mentioned on my podcast, I will not be giving the Bachelor producers any trophies for casting her because they've missed a lot of chances in doing this in the past. And of course, they've put her in kind of a tough situation here because they had it leaked that Daisy was going to be the Bachelorette. Everyone believed it was going to be Maria. And it kind of just took away some of the, I don't know, momentum with regards to the surprise that it was Jenn. Now, I think it's still going to be a fantastic season. Here's what Jenn had to say about overcoming imposter syndrome as the new lead of the show.
It's been hard to kind of accept myself as the Bachelorette because I don't see myself in that light. But I just feel so grateful and just overwhelmed, and I can't wait to meet all these men who put their lives on hold to come here and meet me. I'm gonna flirt my little booty off with a bunch of men.
There she is, coming tonight. All right, and she had one more very interesting reel here. When you talk about being media trained, I kind of feel like the show is just putting her in situations that don't quite fit her. So forgive me for bringing the Patriots into this, but Bill Belichick, one of the greatest, if not greatest football coaches, if not greatest coaches of all time, is known for playing people up to their skill set. So if you're really good at one thing, he's not going to make you do something that you wouldn't be good at. He brings out the best in people. I don't know if the producers are doing that by making Jenn do these sorts of reels you're about to watch.
I heard that all the hot people are watching The Bachelorette. So I guess that means I'll see you on Monday.
I mean, look, I'll be here regardless. I'm excited for the show. Let's go to one more trailer, and then we will get into what she said on Off the Vine.
All these men coming here to meet me, it feels kind of right.
Gentlemen! Gentlemen! All right, so they call them gentlemen, and here she is.
Tonight, I'm going to meet my future husband, and then 20 other really hot guys too. I'm gonna do things in my own way. My love story is gonna be crazy and chaotic and fun.
And by the way, I think the show's gonna do very good because of Jenn's humility and naivete as the center of attention. I think this will be a good thing. For a lot of people that say, oh, Dave, you're knocking her. No. I think it's going to be a good thing. I just think they're going to have to play into what they're playing on, which is like, oh, me, what's that movie called where they take the glasses off the girl and she finds out she's hot? I Can't Hardly Wait, like one of those. She's all that. One of those movies, right? Either way, she's all Jen. So here's what she has to say on the Off the Vine podcast. I'm going to jump to the 23-minute mark. Of course, go check it out. And by the way, can I just tell you guys how proud I am of everyone who listened to my episode? So look at this. You've got 1,600 views. Sure, it's new. 17,000 views on our episode we did last week. Honestly, it's the most watched, more than Dotton and Charity. Are you kidding me? We got double the amount of views than Dotton and Charity, and crushed Joe, Grocery Store Joe. So it's just a testament to all of y'all that have come out there to support some no-name podcaster, part-time investigative journalist here, part-time beauty influencer. I appreciate you guys so much. All right, so let's go into the 23-minute mark here. We're on a free-form Monday. Y'all have to forgive me. I was up early with the baby here, so I have to get my time codes right. Here she talks about the time to prepare as the new lead of the show. And I guess Caitlin can probably relate in some ways, because Caitlin didn't even know if she was going to be the lead of the show till really the end of the first night. But here's what Jen had to say.
Prepare?
I mean, how do you even prepare for something like that? So how it all happened was, we had meetings about it. Yeah. And so it was after Joey's season, it was in the talks. We had meetings, we did interviews, like whatever.
In the talks.
So I wasn't thinking like, I don't know, I wasn't like, oh, it's definitely going to be me.
Yeah.
Because I knew that there were other people in contention as well. And so I didn't really like prepare for it in any kind of way. Yeah. But then when I did get that call, I was like, oh shit.
It's happening.
I was like, oh, what do I do with school? I was like, what am I going to do with my life?
Yeah.
Quit school. Who needs it? Go on The Bachelorette.
This is crazy. And honestly, I didn't have a strategy. I didn't know what to do. I really was just like, I'm going to be myself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And
which, by the way, is exactly what the producers want. They don't want a strategy. They want someone to go in there and fall prey to the traps that the show sets.
In the beginning, like, I did have a lot of imposter syndrome. I was like, am I the right person for this? Am I confident enough for this? Do I like myself enough for this?
You're also dealing with Bachelor Nation who has opinions.
No.
Whether it's who they wanted or was rooting for, or if it wasn't, like, everyone has strong opinions, and that must be hard to deal with.
Well, that was the other part of it too, was I wasn't sure I wanted it because I am a very private person. I don't like having my...
Not anymore, you aren't.
Love, I know. Unfortunately for me. Yeah. But I was like, I don't know if I want my life out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want my story out there. And that was part of it. I was like, there's going to be so much going on. And I decided to do it. And I think that there's going to be pros and cons to it all. At the end of the day, like, I am the first Asian American Bachelorette, and to have the limelight on that, and to be inspiring so many people and be a part of this change in a whole generation is something that I wanted to do.
Well, it's cool that you didn't feel, well, and you can correct me, like, that's a big responsibility and pressure. Did you feel that, or did you really lean in and embrace it, or both?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
I leaned in and embraced it, but there were times where, I had conversations about my heritage, and I was like, am I talking about this in the right way? Am I using the right verbiage?
Yeah, it's got to be very difficult to represent a group, even if that's not what you want to do. Like she knows the weight on her shoulders is going to be the fact that the show, look, I mean, the producers took part in an LA Times article about how they've botched this in the past, and they're putting their marketing into showcasing that she is the first Asian American lead. So yeah, I could imagine that would have a high standard to live up to, which again, she's going to be great regardless.
Right. Because I'm like, I don't know how other people are going to look at this, but all I know is my truth. Yeah. And I don't want to offend anyone, but I also want to be able to speak my truth and how I feel about things. So yes, I definitely thought about it sometimes, but at the end of the day, any exposure is good exposure about it, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, especially because I couldn't speak on it, I couldn't. So you're the best person to do that. It is who you are.
Yeah.
It is your truth.
Yeah.
So you can't, you're
exactly.
Of course you can worry about how you're saying it, but at the like you said, the end of the day, it is who you are.
Yeah.
I asked you this earlier too, but like, did anything surprise you about being the Bachelorette? Like, if you think back, because this is recent that you did filming, what was like something that surprised you about being the Bachelorette? How crazy the guys are over you? I always like when they stood up and clapped when I walked into a room. I was like, oh.
I feel this is why Caitlin's a pro. I feel like this is a tough interview, and Caitlin has to almost lead Jen into the answers, which again, I don't know why, but that's what I feel, which is good because Caitlin's just asking questions, going like, I'm not getting much, and she's even circling back with some of them, which it can be difficult. You go on all these different podcasts and you gotta recite the same stories. It's a grind doing this press.
Oh, a little bit, yeah. That every time I walked into a room and they were all just staring at me, waiting for me to speak. I'm
like hanging on the edge of their seat for everything that comes out of your mouth.
I've never had that before.
Yeah.
I've never had to think about what I was gonna say because I was like, oh shit, if I say something, they're gonna overthink about that
Everything.
one word.
And because
something.
because you've been in that position too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was definitely crazy for me, for sure.
There's certain things that I don't remember, and then there's a lot of little specifics that I remember from being Bachelorette, and I remember being very aware, like when I walk into a room, just the eyes all on you and hanging on, and I was like, oh shit, I said that, and the one guy looked like, and he was like, she's talking to me, and I'd be like, I wasn't, but shit, and like there's so many different personalities to take care of.
Yes, but the other power in that is that you can make a whole speech and maybe at somebody on the side, and I kind of had a couple of those.
I did those all the time.
Yeah.
I'd be making certain words. I'd make eye contact with the right ones and be like, I think my husband is in this room.
I know.
Did you say it? Did you say, I think my husband's in this room?
At least 10 times a day. At least 10 times a day.
Yes.
But I meant it.
Yes, but I used to get so annoyed at the little cheesy sayings throughout Bachelor and Bachelorette. Like, the journey, this is amazing. My husband's in this room. Right reasons, wrong reasons. Now I live for those moments on TV. I'm like, it's iconic.
Yes, it really is. Although one thing that I hate saying is these connections, but there really isn't a better word for it. No. I mean, I guess you could say relationships, but I cringed every time I had to say connections. I was like, no, not again.
Well, now we know, because people, Bachelor Nation out there does bingo cards and drinking games.
Yes.
So connect.
All right, so there it is. Let's go to the 28. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I wanted to play just another minute or two here. I didn't realize I was playing this so long. Of course, as always, check out the full podcast. Listen to all of it. We're just sampling a little bit right now.
Game 4, did you have a type, or did people surprise you?
Yes, people surprised me. I think with my dating, I have a bad dating history. I've never picked the right guys.
Of course. None of us have.
No.
If you're not married yet, none of us have picked the right one.
Shots fired, Jason.
No, but I think I've always dated just men who just, I don't know, weren't giving me everything that I needed and were giving me the bare minimum. I just had a lot of work to do in that area, right? So going into it, I knew that I had a vibe maybe that I liked, and I think that maybe the vibe that I usually go for isn't the best vibe.
Right, sure. But that's all of us in our 20s.
Yes. And I think I was able to explore that and also explore other vibes too that I didn't necessarily always go for. So, I mean,
she's like, some of the guys had bigger vibes than others.
My type maybe changed a little bit through the journey, and it really was just all about me knowing what I deserve.
Good. Did you find what you deserve?
How do I answer this?
Well, I see it's like the media training is kicking in. I'm like, what do you got?
I don't know if I can speak on that specifically, but I will say I'm happy with how it ended.
Okay, good.
I think, and not even just how it ended, but how everything played out. It just makes so much sense for me, and I just grew so much and learned so much that the way everything played out just is I'm so excited to watch it.
There it is, and you can watch it tonight, 8/7 Central on ABC. They should be paying me for this kind of promotion. Right, folks? They don't, trust me. But I'm here for you. I'll be here for 2 hours on the pre-show live. That's 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. East Coast, 3 p.m. Pacific. Did I get that right? Mountain time? Figure it out, okay? You 7 people that watch from the mountain time. Oh, I don't want to offend you in the Rockies. All right, I'll be rocking you tonight with the live stream. Go check that out. I'm live on Patreon right now if you want to join us for the behind-the-scenes content. We'll be talking about Clayton Echard, and today is the deadline for his the financial aspect of his trial, putting the tab together. So we'll see if that comes in today live on Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal. We'll catch you this afternoon for our free public live stream. And also don't forget to check out our podcast, The Rush Hour with Dave Neal. See you then. Bye.